All right, guys. Let's again would like to welcome you guys. Let's continue in this program of AWS CSA. This purely on the admin perspective, or I can say the how you can architect the AWS cloud, right? And plus also you guys also maybe doing AWS developer track also with me in the same track, same process. So I just want to welcome you again. I think this might be fourth or fifth or sixth session, maybe. Okay. So let's continue, guys. Today's topic is very important because slowly it take us towards I can say towards the direction of the developers, right? Not exactly the developers, but I can say the right word would be automation. Okay. And guys, if you go to any of the environment, any of the tools and the technologies today, every technology or tool is talking more about the automation, right? Or maybe we can categorize this part in DevOps, not exactly, but maybe we can categorize this part in DevOps, right? So I believe you guys might have no idea what is a DevOps. So don't worry, guys. In not today. Don't ask this question to me, but in upcoming class, you guys will be well versed with the what is DevOps, right? And when I start this topic, you guys also well versed with what is automation. So I know we are into the AWS cloud or cloud training, but if you try to understand all the services that come under the AWS cloud, most of the services are claiming or somehow giving features or support to the end user or the client of the AWS, technically known as tenant to the AWS, and say, now you can, if you use this service, it will automate your task. If you use this service, it come into DevOps. If you use this service, you don't have to manage, just one click or just do some more changes and we will automate everything for you. So maybe not exactly they say always that they are the services of automation, or they are most of the things they are working on the DevOps, but finally most of the times I normally categorize the cloud computing, or I say public cloud computing, under the DevOps, right? Normally I categorized, right? Technically, a cloud is a different, track altogether to learn. DevOps is a different tool or tracks, I can say, to learn. But as you become familiar with all the DevOps concepts, I worked almost in all the whatever the tools and technology available in DevOps, right? A lot, plus also in the cloud. But after you become, you also become familiar with these two things. Finally, you can see there's a lot of union or some kind of commonalities or common things between these guys, and finally it look like same, right? But obviously we will start the things from very zero, but soon you will realize those part. But guys, again, what is DevOps? I haven't discussed yet. What is automation? I haven't discussed yet. But the concept that I'm going to start today, slowly you come to know in some classes, right, of mine, that the concept that I'm going to start today will help you in the automation world, right? So maybe by today's and end of the lecture, not exactly all or everything, but at least you will get some idea about what I mean by automation here. Okay. So again, I just want to welcome you today. I just want to pick something a little bit different topic, but very interesting, very much useful, because the way we use AWS cloud from the first day, what we did from the first day, we just come to this portal, we log in, and from login just click here and there, and finally whatever we want to achieve. For example, we have discussed something about IAM, we have discussed something about EC2, we have discussed something about S3. But don't worry, guys, this topic is not yet complete from my side. Okay, again, I keep on revisiting to IAM, EC2 and S3 multiple time. I keep on coming as and when we require conceptual requirement of our use cases. Okay, after some classes, you come to know that almost everything whatever exists in EC2, S3, or IAM, or maybe in other services will be completed, right? Okay, even though we are into the AWS CSA level training, that is called associate, but I'll try to touch some topic from advanced classes also to be covered in this track. Okay, that I already told you guys. So today's, let's meet talk about the agenda. So today's my plan is to start the CLI part of AWS. So that is a main plan for today, how you can access AWS cloud or manage AWS cloud from the CLI. Right, this is one of the main topic for today. Okay, if we got time today, then we'll again, I would like to again move to EBS. And there's one very interesting concept called a snapshot, we will discuss if we got the time today. And after we discuss snapshot, and then there would be a lot of queries you guys had in my last class of EBS, that how we can share our EBS volume from one data center to other, one region to other region. So a snapshot will give all those answers to you. Okay, so that is the guys high level agenda and plan for today. And as we always do, while doing the topics and while learning those main topic, also keep on picking some smaller topic in between. Okay, so that's all guys. So start from very basics. What is AWS CLI? Okay, so technically guys, if you ever worked on any of the cloud, or you will, if you will work in any of the cloud computing tool, or nowadays any kind of technological tool, most of the times guys, any of the uh, cloud you use, or platform you use, or any product you use, or tools you use, again cloud is also one kind of tool, right? It will do something for you. So any kind of tool you use, and here we're talking about AWS cloud platform, you use. Okay, um, uh, if this tool is already created, right, we have to just use it. And so if you want to use this cloud or tool or platform, if you want to use it, so normally they provide three different way to, so that we as a user of these tools can use these tools. So there's three different methods. 99.99% all the tools or the platform provides you. Okay, so one of the simple method they provide you, right, just especially for the initial guys or who are learner of this tool, so they want things to be make it very simple, right, are known as some kind of graphical tool, or maybe I can use a term here called web UI tool. Means web user interface. Normally they say I have provided you one this kind of website means web. Okay, and this is the interface you have. Okay, so you are the user and this is the interface, you just click here, and whatever you want to do you can do it. That's what guys we are doing from last couple of days. Okay, so most of the tools, they provide the web UI, yeah, web UI to you. Sometimes is also known as web app. So AWS cloud, their web application through which we can go and use this their platform or their tools. Okay, this is one way we have. But only thing and the only challenge in this web UI is, right, the good thing is, right, anybody who are maybe not non-technical, they can also go and click, and we ask them how what to do. They just click, and finally whatever they want to launch, they will get it. So as such, working in the web UI is pretty simple. We don't require so much technical knowledge. Anybody can use this tool. Even the non-technical guys also can use this tool, right? So this is one thing. But the only challenge in this web UI is, okay, if you have certain kind of requirement, right? Let's say my requirement would be, I would like to launch Red Hat Linux 2 plus Red Hat 8 in one single go. So there's no option here. There is simple requirement. Maybe my requirement become maybe more complex, but I have some requirement, or I can say the use case where you would like to launch both the OS together. So, if you try to select this one or this one, there's no option to select both right here. Even the very basic requirement or basic use case. Okay, maybe I can go next. One OS I can launch 20 times or 100 times, but there's no option available or no option available where you can select both the AMI together. Or maybe let's say you just want to select this AMI here, and after you select, you might have a requirement, right, that first this instance I would like to launch 2 times, but one of my instance launch in 1A, and second instance launch in 1B. 1C. You can't do from here. Either you can select V or A or C in one go. Means every time if you want to launch 20 systems and different, maybe all the 20 are from the same AMI, like Red Hat or Windows, or maybe Amazon Linux. Okay, but for every OS we have a different requirement. So after again every time every time I have to go keep on visiting this page and click on one, and then select for this one 1A, this one 1B, or maybe first OS I have a different requirement of T2 micro, second for T2 is small, this is T2 is medium, maybe. Right, and this is very common use case, even though I'm talking very simple requirement and use case, but it is very common. Normally what happen in the industry, why you launching this OS? So that you have some software or program you can just go and copy there and run there. And why you want to run there? So that you can test the software, okay, whatever software you have created. Okay, so normally in the company for testing, there's called testing environment, they launch T2 micro, or maybe in the production they launched T2 medium. Obviously not T2 for the production, they will go for bigger size of the instance, but very small use case. But your graphical portal or this kind of web UI won't help you for both the environments, for testing or for production, or for QA, for development. Again and again, if you keep on coming up here and keep on launching or keep on changing this thing, right? So technically what I'm talking about, guys, don't worry if you are very much new in this concept of environments, right? So normally in the corporate, we work in multiple environments, maybe dev, QA, test. Don't worry, when I go for my AWS developer track, and there's one topic called CI/CD pipeline. So in this topic, I normally discuss in very much detail about this concept, but very straightforward. If you don't know what is CI/CD, that's okay. If you don't know what is dev environment or QA environment, that's also okay. It's not important right now, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, in the graphical, they are simple, but if you have certain requirement that is customized to my requirement, two OS I want to launch, one is T2 micro or T2 medium, right? That I can do. I have to manually again come up, again come up, and keep on doing clicking. So you know what I use the word here, manual. So it is like a very much kind of manual thing. Every time you have to keep on coming here and keep on changing my things. So it takes a lot of time, right? Because right now maybe we are practicing, maybe you're launching 2 or 10 systems, but you talk about the bigger environment, bigger companies, right? Maybe hundreds and thousands of computers they have to launch for something. Okay, so manual thing, guys, is always very slow. Okay, very slow. We never like manual things. What I want, because we know our requirement. So as a human being, why should have to come here? Do one thing. Can we do one thing? We'll ask my AWS cloud and say the way I'm talking about right now. I will say, it's so interesting if you think in this way, right? What can I do? I can say, just something like this, that you do with Siri or Cortana, or with Google Assistant, or maybe Alexa. You can say, hey AWS, this is Vimal, and can you please go do one thing? Can you launch 10 instance for me? And one is T2 micro, two is T2 medium, one is this one, launch one in Mumbai, one is North Virginia. Okay, can you do one thing for me? Or Amazon say, yes, I will do for you. So you don't have to come to this screen. Okay, Amazon will listen to your voice, and after they listen to the voice, they will do for you. So guys, what I'm saying right now, that is practical possible. Absolutely yes, absolutely yes. Okay, this is practical possible. The only thing is you have to use your mic. And for using the mic, so that whatever you're saying or speaking, mic is listen, and what your mic is listening off your laptop, it will go to AWS. Okay, so does it possible? Yes. Does Amazon give this facility? I don't know. Maybe somebody has created this program online. You can search. But can we create? Answer yes. We can create this. Okay, so what can we do? We can use our mic and we speak in the mic. And the way I speak right now, the exactly same way I speak. And what I'm saying here will go to AWS cloud and they will do for you. Okay. But for this, what we have to do? Okay, right now I'm speaking to mic, it's not working, right? What we have to do, I have to tell my mic, right, and that's do something for me, what I'm asking to do. And if you want your mic to listen to you, for this you have to write a code. You have to write a program. This program who will enable the mic, open the mic for you so that they can listen to you. And whatever saying to the mic, this will go to the AWS cloud. And tell the AWS cloud or AWS guys what you want to do. And obviously they'll tell the AWS cloud in the language that AWS understands. For example, if I say, can you AWS cloud, can you launch this thing for me? So right now AWS doesn't know my native English here, the way I'm speaking here. Okay, so your program that is talking to the mic, right? Through the mic, they go to AWS and say, what do you want to say? But only thing that is should be understandable by the AWS language, whatever AWS understand the language. But in all the guys concept, what I'm talking about guys here is I don't want to use web UI. That's my main plan. Okay, either I speak here or maybe I just go to my command line and say AWS, please launch two EC2 instance for me, something like this. And when I hit enter, AWS, can you please something? When I hit enter, it go to right now is randomly I'm typing here, but it's go to AWS and they do for me. Or because I'm doing something here in the black screen, look like commands or maybe some kind of programs. So because this program is not available, so that's my today's plan, guys. So we are going to create this kind of program because we create the program. Okay, we get the program or we get the command. So so it is in our control how you want the program to be. Program will perform for you. Okay, so today's guys, if you have some kind of custom requirement and you don't want to go to AWS and and keep on clicking here and there and again keep on doing same thing again and again, maybe they're simple, that's good thing, but it's very manual. For the initial guys who are learning, simple is good. But for the bigger environment, and if you think just keep on changing, then you have to automate this. Automate, or I can say automation. Automation means you just write a code and run the code one click. All the thousands of OS launch, S3 bucket created, I am a user created, whatever you write inside the code, one click, everything you want and anything you want to use as a customize, it will do for you. Because every company has a different need, every user has a different need. Obviously AWS does never know about the customer use cases. So they have given a facility, and this is the second facility I'm talking about. The first one is web UI, and second one is this one. This is called automation, means customize. But only way to customize is to talk to the guys. How? By code. So you have to write the code. Okay, so second way available is, okay, rather than I go and click manually, we can write a code. And guys, obviously when you write the code, which language you want to use? AWS normally support almost all the major core languages. So if you're good in Java, you can use Java. You're good in PHP, you can use PHP. If you're good in Android or Dart, or whatever language you are comfortable on, Android means Java, I'd say, or maybe Kotlin, or maybe you guys comfortable in Python. So in my program, I'm gonna use Python as a language. So this part, guys, I'm not starting today because I also believe most of guys doesn't know Python, and obviously in this training, I'm not going to cover Python. So to sync with me, what I'm going to do, I have some lecture in my IIC Rise classes of the Python. I will share with you those who are new in Python. I don't want any expertise knowledge in Python, just basic knowledge of Python. That will be also okay. So you can go through those classes, and after you become sync, then we'll come to this topic. Okay. So today's I'm going to use third method. Third, I'm going to say almost everything that you need to run or want to do and perform. So we have already created some codes for you. Okay, you can run those codes, and those code that are given by Amazon is known as programs. You can run this program for you. And those program, because I'm going to run this kind of black screen, and in the black screen, when you run the command or program given by some kind of these tools are known as commands. So AWS say, whatever the black screen you have in Windows terminal or Linux, this is called command line terminal or CLI. So what a CLI you have, command line interface. I am going to provide you some commands or the programs. You can use my command program and almost everything you can do. So you don't have to come to this screen, or because they are the commands and the programs. So you don't have to write an entire code from the scratch. Okay, from the scratch. Yeah, if you can create the entire code from the scratch, a lot of things you can do and achieve. Okay, what we will again discuss in the future, but at least because I'm going to provide a commands. So if you know any scripting language, at least maybe if you know PowerShell, if you know Bash scripting or batch scripting or Perl scripting or other scripting, you can at least from the scripting also you can run those commands to make the thing automated. Okay. So guys, maybe in the right now in one single go, you might not able to understand, but when I go for the spectacle today, you understand what exactly I'm talking about. Okay. So finally, if I summarize this, if you want to talk to the AWS so that they will do something for you as a user or tenant, three facility we have. One, using web UI, this one that will keep on visiting in the future again and again because we are learning. Okay. And second facility would be programs. You can use any programming language. Typically, it is known as SDK, right? Software Development Kit. So MNSA, I support multiple softwares, sorry, multiple development programs like Python or maybe Ruby or something like this. So we have provided some kind of SDK for you. So what is SDK? Again, not important right now, but when I go for purely on the AWS developer track, I will explain you there in detail. But don't worry about this part. We are not going to start this topic today. Okay. And third way that we are going to start today, MNSA, I'm going to provide you CLI support also. So good thing is now from onwards, you don't have to log into this screen. You don't require to log in, though no requirement. I can directly go to my Windows or Linux or Mac command line terminals, black screen. And from here, we can write the AWS. And it will say, we say AWS in Mumbai, can you launch two EC2 instance for me for type called T2 micro, something like this, not exactly, but something like this we are going to write here. So without going to web UI, if I click here, if I enter here, this black screen, this called command, and this black screen called CLI, command line interface. It will go to AWS behind the scene, and whatever we ask them to do, they will do for us. Because finally you will get the final commands for something. Okay. And guys, the good thing about the command is, right, if you want to run the command manually, you can type here and run it. But those who know scripting languages, maybe PowerShell or Batch or shell scripting, they can put this, or maybe Python also has a scripting, right? So you can put this command in your language. Like Python also supports shell scripting. Or sorry, Python also supports scripting. It's called Python scripting. You can put this command on the script, and maybe this is the two instance we are launching. But after this, I have to launch buckets in S3. After that, I have to launch one more instance with EBS. After I would launch one more instance in my Virginia region. So you don't have to type again and again. Put all the command in your scripts. For example, Python scripts or shell script. And one click, your entire task that you have to always type again and again, again and again, it will automate for you. But same thing you can't do in this web UI. That's my main point. From web UI, if you say, I'm great in Python, I'm great in Python, I'm great in Ruby language or whatever language you know. Okay. And if I ask you, hey, you are good in Python, can you do one thing for me from this web screen? Can you automate? Can you, using the Python, can you click here? Or using the Python, can you automatically select this option? Select this option or select this region? No, you can't, right? It's impossible as such. Okay, you can't do this. This is only for the user who want to interact with this wide screen. You have to use a mouse to do it. Right? So I think very high level, you understood guys what I'm talking about, right? So finally, if we understand the concepts, after understanding the vocabulary here, AMI or instance type, we don't have to come to this screen. Whatever we are doing here, we will write this kind of black commands or black and white commands here, and they will perform for us. Okay. And the good thing about the command is we can run this command again and again. For example, this is a command AWS Cloud, for example. I come again, run, again run, again run. See, it's so quick, right? Right now the command is wrong because wrong command will come to right command, right? But see guys, 4 times I click and click, or the OS launched, right? So just very much, it looked like very much automated. One click, whatever your desire is, what exactly you want, it will be configured for us, or to be installed or set up for us, or launch for us. Okay, but you'll get lots of benefit of this in my next discussion, guys. So that's what, guys, I'm talking about. If you want one click, everything launch, because launching the EC2 is not the only thing. Tons of things we have to do on the cloud. Again, for this, I always want automation. And at this concept, I keep on reading multiple times. Okay, after maybe 4 or 5 classes, you will be very much comfortable with this term. I just want to high level introduce you, this topic. Okay, and somehow automation is a part of DevOps. So what DevOps I am not discussing today, right? But it's a part of DevOps. Okay, so so I think I'm clear. But yeah, one more interesting thing, the way I started this topic, right? Uh, those guys, maybe a lot of guys here are the part of my IAC Rise Python training, and I think a few lecture back, I explain you how to write the Python code that will interact with the mic, and how can you run the command by mic by the normal English language. So, this is the demo we have seen there. So I can say, hey, Mike, can you please go and run the delete command? Or hey, Mike, can you please go and run the, set up the web services? Okay. So those guys, I highly recommend for those guys. Even the other guys also can try. They go to my lecture and can learn how we can create a program who listen to us like a Alexa or something like this. Okay, so but interesting for these guys especially. All right, I just want to give one more task. After you learn today's topic, how do you connect AWS with the CLI? I want you go back, use your same concept of mic, okay, and write a code where you will speak and say, hey AWS, can you please launch one EC2 instance for me in Mumbai region? You don't have to type even. You don't have to type even. Okay, or you don't have to run the command. You don't have to go to AWS. Just by speaking with your voice, right? It's like a voice control kind of management it will achieve, right? So especially for ISC Rise guys, I just want to give this task, but I also encourage other guys also over here. If you want, I will provide these lectures to you. Very interesting. You can create your own voice control setup, just exactly like Alexa. Okay, but only voice control setup won't help you. If you know how to have a voice control programs, but if you don't know how to connect to AWS with the CLI, it won't possible. Or how to connect AWS with the programs, it is impossible. So if you have the voice control knowledge, but if you don't know how to use CLI, or if you don't know maybe writing the directly code by yourself, okay, your voice control won't help you. Okay, so any of this knowledge you should require, and we will see guys both the knowledge. CLI we are doing in CSA training, but when I purely start the developer training or track in the future, I will go for writing the entire code from the scratch without using the CLI also. We'll go there. Okay, but any of this automation or connect with a mic and something like this, it is impossible, as such impossible I can say, with WebUI. Even the AWS has some kind of voice control tool that is for different purpose. I'm talking about controlling AWS cloud. Okay, that would be as such impossible, as such I can say. So let's continue, guys, with the today's lecture. A very brief, sorry, overview I have given to you. Okay, but at least you got the idea. Lots of things we can plan if you have a knowledge of either programming language. It's called SDK. What is this? We'll discuss, but at least CLI. So my today's topic is AWS CLI, and by the end of the day, right, you will get a approach and the path, right? If you want to do anything in the AWS, anything in the AWS, how you can do those things from the CLI. And after you become comfortable with CLI, then you can use your further knowledge. If you have like mic and is voice control, you can add all of the logics there to do anything and everything. That's the different point right here. Okay, so let's talk, guys, about the AWS CLI. Okay, so to make it more clear in one single line, today, guys, I'm not going to touch this web UI. I'm going to launch again the same thing, EC2 instance. Okay, same thing. I don't have an instance here, zero in the Mumbai region. Okay, I'm going to launch one instance, but without clicking on the instance, launch instance here, I'm going to launch the instance in my account from this black screen of AWS. This is called CLI terminal. That's the today's plan. Okay, the main plan. So let's see, guys, how we can do. And here, guys, I'm not going to give you the pure command here. There's a 1-2 line command, a big command, but I'm going to show you the approach, okay, and the concepts. And if you know that concept with my approach, so in the future, any of the command, if you want to create by yourself also, or customize by you, if you want to do any kind of customization also, you can do it. Because AWS, guys, has a lots of services. Every service there have their own commands. And inside the one service, there are lots of other things to do. Okay, so nobody can remember all the command, and there's no good reason to remember remember the things, right, or memorize the thing. The good thing is you should know the approach. If something new come up, for example, maybe suddenly comprehend is for again for some machine learning concepts, right, come up, right, and you don't want to do from here, and you want to do from the command line. So if you understand the today's approach, what I'm going to give you, because in the future any of the service come up or you have here, okay, you can use that approach to do and manage those services, not from the web UI, from the command lines. So that's guys my plan is, right. So let me start from here. How we can do, okay. So let me start from zero by zero, from very zero. Okay, so AWS cloud, it's already there. And if you want to interact with AWS cloud from web UI, what is the minimum requirement you have, right? If you want to access the AWS with the web UI, what you need at least some browser. For example, in my case, I'm using Chrome browser. So without the browser, how can you use the AWS? So as a user side, as a user side, if you want to use the AWS cloud with the web UI, you need a browser. Okay, again, browser what a program, right? Is a client side program. Similarly, if you want to use AWS and your interface is not web UI, is command line interface. Okay, so we have maybe interface change, but for this you also need some kind of program. Okay, and here the program, or I can say the command or the program that you need, so that this program will go to AWS. How? By using this black screen. So name of this command and program is called AWS. So if you go to a Windows and type in this black screen AWS command and hit enter, it will give you message something like this. This AWS is not recognized. In my case, I write type 1 because I already have. If I type, they won't give me this error because I already have. But in your case, if you type AWS in the black screen, okay, you will give you error something like this. Is not recognized. Okay, I already installed. So in my case, they won't give me this error. They say, yeah, I know what is AWS. What do you do or what do you want to do? Please tell me. Okay, so but in your case, you don't have the AWS command in the program. So if you want to connect with AWS with CLI, the minimum requirement is you should have this command in your computers. Okay, how you get this command? Again, this command is free, or this program is free. This software actually. So if I go for AWS CLI install and CLI install, if you search this, so AWS is providing you the way how you can install AWS CLI. And here from here, you can go and download the software. And good thing is, they have the software for all the OS. So if you're using Mac or Linux, Red Hat, Ubuntu, or maybe Windows, they have software for all the OS. Okay, so if I click here, and here they give you options to download. So if you just go down, they give you some option where you can download the software. Okay, and again, CLI come with the two version. Version 1 is a little bit outdated, I can say, okay, or old. We are going to use the most recent version, version 2 of the AWS CLI. Okay, this is the recent version we are going to use. So here we don't have the software, but if you search the Google AWS CLI download, download for Mac or Windows, something like that, you can search by these names. And here from here, you can get the software to download. And guys, installation is pretty simple. Just after download the software, after download, just double click and it's installed for you. So here they give you a link. So this is software for Windows. So let me give the link to you if you want in your dock, right? So just double click and it will install the software for Windows. So same way, if you just go down, they will give software for Mac also, gives the software for Linux also. So I don't want to invest the time, guys, over here to show you how to install, because it is double click and that's all they will install for you. Okay, and even though if you don't want to search, so in your drive or Google Drive, right, I created one folder called software folder, and here I post this software for you. By chance I post for Windows, I haven't posted for Linux and Mac. Anybody have Linux, Mac, you can download from the internet, it's free. But most of guys normally have the Windows, so is MSI file. It is a software for the Windows. Okay, so you can download from here also. So I already downloaded, I already double click, and after double click, I already installed. And how I know? So if I open my terminal, okay, if I run command AWS -hyphen version, this is the command you can use to verify. Okay, so my system already have AWS CLI version 2 and above. And why they're showing you Python and Boto? So I'm not discussing right now because when I go for my developer track where we won't use the command, we will go to writing our own code. Very interesting, lot of power benefit you will achieve from that part. So we'll see in the future uh, why why they use Python and Boto. Okay. So technically, if you run this command, black screen, if you won't get any error and you get this message, something like this, it means in your laptop, AWS has successfully installed, right? So very straightforward. So you can do this guy's this part maybe right now or maybe in the future when you get the time to get this command. So this is the minimum requirement we have is done. So we want a CLI to connect with AWS. And for CLI, we need this program or the command. Same thing. In my laptop, I have this. That's all. Now, what to do next? Okay. Obviously, guys, if AWS is a cloud, it's a public cloud, it's not belong to my company. AWS say if anybody want to connect to me, they have to first log in. And for login, right? For login, they say depend, guys, how you want to log in. But without login, I won't allow you. Or I can say if you give the login and password, this is called authentication. So I won't allow anybody to come and access my cloud without authenticated, without authenticated. Okay. So that's part of you guys know. But one thing that is important to know here is, right, if you want to use any program in the world or any tool in the world, and if human being is logging, right now I'm a human being, if I'm trying to log in to this cloud or to this programs, it will be anything. So if I try to log in and connect to this program, so for the normally for the human being, guys, any tool, any program in the world, they have created a process called a login name and password. So what I put here, I put my login name and I put my password. So I put my login name here and I put my password here and then login. So guys, this login name and password, all right, it is actually meant for human being. So if anybody human being manually they come and log in, so we give a login and password, so that from login password from my browser, go to AWS, they check, they authenticate it, and then we get the screen. But username password is only meant for for human being. But if you want that your commands go to AWS, or maybe in the future your program also, because command and program is same thing, there's no difference. But when I say program here, when you write our own program in some language like Python, okay, so if you use a command or program written by you or written by somebody and you want, instead of me, I just go and click and do the thing. Instead of me, my program go and do the things what I wanted. And why I wanted my program go? Because program is the one, as a human being, take a lot of time. Program one click, hundreds of things they can do for us. So I want my program will go and do all the things. So they are always super fast if you want to do something. Speed means here the fast in doing the things. This is called operations. So anything you want to do, everything that you do normally, if you ask a program, they will do for you. So that part is called operations. So any operation task, if your program do, they are super fast in doing it. And plus second thing is automation. One click, everything what you ask them, the command or CLI, they will do for you. But main thing over here is, guys, that to understand, the main thing over here is, right, if you ask your program, the program, I am giving you this kind of graphical screen because AWS say they are secure system. Obviously, they should be public internet. So I want you go here in this management console, and when they ask the login and password, please type the login and password, guys. So technically, as such, it's not possible. Any program will go and type this username and then type the password for you, because I don't want any human being will now work. I want my program will go and type the password. But technically, none of the program as such has a capability or ability, sorry, to type the password there. That is a reason, guys. That is a reason. If you want to use any tools, especially the cloud, right? Using the CLI or using some kind of program or the commands, right? So instead of the user, we give them a access key, or instead of the password, we give them a secret key. Okay, what exact meaning of access key, secret key? Maybe if we have some discussion on in my upcoming class on OAuth, if we have, and we have to do. So that part, guys, I will explain you about actual meaning of access key or secret key. But till now, is a part of security topic. But till now, okay, you can think access key is equals to username and secret key is equals to password. You can think now. So is just a little bit difference, but just till now, you got understand the concept of OAuth or some kind of other things, or web securities. Just think it is like access key or the secret key. So what can we do? I'll give my program, okay, and my commands, that if you want to go to AWS, first they ask for the login and password, and then tell these guys we are not the human being, we are just a program. So for us, for checking my security or authentication part, you can take my access key or secret key I can and use this access or secret key to authenticate. And after authenticate, we log in the way we log in the GUI. So we log in inside it. And after login, now what you want to achieve, you can achieve. This will be your logout. Okay. So after login, maybe I want to launch EC2 instance. But for this, you have to first log in, right? So how we can do, let me show you. So technically, I'm trying to tell you guys, in the CLI, you have to first log in. And guys, let's say this is a new AWS software installed. Okay, so by default, you're not logged in. So you do use some command, right? And the command is called AWS configure. This command is the one who asks you that from your Windows or from Mac and Linux, okay, you are going to connect to the AWS cloud from this black screen. Okay, they will ask the login and password. So can you please provide your access key or the secret key? So guys, this is a command through which you can log in from this Windows. Okay, and guys, this black screen is not at all linked with this part. It's independent. If you are here, if you're not here, doesn't matter, right? This is a different interface. It's called Web UI, and this is a different interface. Or you can use both. That's your choice. But both are independent. So when I hit enter, they ask me. See here, first thing is what they're asking me. Can you provide your access key? Let's say I'm typing something here. Can you provide your secret key? I'm typing something here. Obviously, it's wrong. Okay, it's wrong, but they're asking you. They say if you don't provide your login name or password, username, password, I won't allow your command line to authenticate it. And without authenticate, you can't do anything in the cloud. Okay, so I'm doing Control C here to stop, Control C to stop this. So technically what we have to do first, we have to first get my username and my password. And if you want to get, guys, any username password, okay, in the AWS cloud, the only way would be IAM. Okay, so only way is IAM. So in my last class, guys, I already discussed a service called IAM. And why I discussed this topic in my last class? Because my plan is to start today CLI. Because without the knowledge of IAM, normally we confuse with these concepts of login. So in AWS, we have a service called IAM. Very high level, I explain you, but don't worry, guys, we'll go more deep dive on more basics. In some time, you will be very much comfortable with all the concepts of IAM. Okay, so in AWS, we have a service called IAM. What IAM for? I is mainly for identity. Means through this, I can create my username or the password. Or in this case, user will be access key or the secret key. Okay, so that's what we are going to do here. Okay, so if my plan is to log in from a command line, I have to first go to, maybe first time, you have to go to your the GUI or web UI. And here in the IAM, in the security section here, IAM that you guys know, click here. And here, what can you do? You ask your cloud guys over here, ask your cloud guys that I would like to log in. Somebody who are managing my account. So this is my account. Somebody who is managing my account. Okay, they would like to log in so that they can do something. Okay, and for this you have to create identity. Identity means user. So for this you have to click on the users the way we did in last class. Okay, so let me create one user here very quickly. Click add user, add user, and let me give the username, let's say AWS, or let's say Linux World user 1. This user we are going to create. Okay, now if you see here, now you can understand this type part. This portion of our saying here, okay, this is the user we are going to create. Okay, so the user that you're going to create, you're going to set a password also here. Okay, but can you please tell me who are going to use this login and password? This login and password is used by human being, right? Because human being is the one normally work in this kind of web UI. If yes, then select this option. So I provide a password to you so that you can open your management console. Management console means your web UI. So web UI or management console, same thing. Okay, so you can create the password from here. Just go and create it. But you say no, I don't want my human being will go and log into AWS. I want my CLI. So guys, for this programmatic access. So if you want to connect to AWS, use CLI, or maybe in the future Python SDK. We'll discuss what the Python SDK in the future classes, right? Or API also we'll discuss in the future classes. All right, don't worry. But here my today's plan is CLI. So for this, you have to create a username and password. Technically here, username and password is access key and secret key. So you have to select this. So what is your type through which you want to access your AWS cloud? Okay. So my plan is maybe both. I can select both. So you can have password also. So you can use this login and password in this graphical screen. So in this graphical screen to login in the top, or maybe sometime you want to use some Python code, or right now CLI, you can go for this option. But let's say my plan is to use this programmatic access. That's all. That's my plan. Okay. So that's what we are going to create. So I'm going for this option. I want my user will have access key or secret key. Okay, so I can use my CLI. And then I go for permissions, and this part I already explained you. Whenever you guys create any user in the cloud, in this case is access key in the cloud, you have to tell the power, how much power they have, what can they do on the cloud, which service they can access. Okay, or what can they do? For example, last I told you, okay, if I give one user power EC2, not S3, they can do only in EC2. They can't do anything in S3. Okay, something like this. Okay, but if you want to give some user all power, they can do anything and everything, then you can give admin power. How? Here you can do. And this power is technically known as policy. So if you give one policy of power to admin, it means this particular user who will have this access key and secret key, they will create for you in a minute. They will show you this access key and secret key. They can do everything. Everything. They can manage all the services. The only thing this user can't do, who have this power, they can't go to a billing account. Apart from billing account, they can do everything. Okay, that's one thing. Or maybe because this user can also go to IAM service also. So maybe this user that I'm going to create right now will go and delete other users. So instead of admin, there's one more power we have is I always suggest to give this power. This is called power user access. So this particular user I'm going to create, or access key security I'm going to create, I'm going to give a power user access. It means they can change anything in any of my services. Only two things they can't do. They can't go to my IAM service to create some more other user and to delete other users they already have, we already have, or they can't go to my billing account. Okay, so this is the meaning of policies and the power. But don't worry guys, this topic I haven't started actually yet, but my last class very high level example experience I given to you. I again want to give you one more time because a lot of guys keep on asking me to discuss one more time, so I wanted to discuss one more time here. But when I exclusively take IAM classes, we'll discuss lots of things about here, and we can also create our own policies also. Okay, that's what we'll discuss in the future. Okay, but right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do, I'm going to create this user. If you want to give some name, that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to create this user, but this username is not important for me. It's not important for me because I'm not going to use this name to log in from my web UI. Okay, so this is not important for me. Okay, the important thing for me is this access key and secret key. Okay, so if anybody who gonna use this access key, where this is, they will generate for you in a minute. Is not there. So when I give this access key or secret key to anybody, to any my program, they can come to my account of AWS, or I can say they come to my tenant, and they will have power access. Power access means this power they have, and the power means every services they can use here. Okay, and that is the meaning of A here. A means access. What power you want to give? How much they can access your account? So AWS has this program called IAM, through which we can create the identity, means username and password. Here access key, secret key, plus access. You can you can tell this user can do this power, or this user have this power, or this access key has this power. So that is the meaning, guys. This name is called IAM, service name called IAM. Okay, so in the last class we discussed already. I just wanted to give fast brief on this, right? Now, one more small thing I'm doing before I go ahead, because right now we are just learning. Okay, so I have to again keep on coming to this web UI so you guys become comfortable. Okay, so for this I just want to do one more small thing here. I'm setting my password for human being also. So same time I can also log in with my web UI. It's called management console, so I can show you both the sides, so you guys become comfortable that whatever doing from a CLI, it is actually happening. It's also actually, you know, configuring what we are doing from a CLI. Okay, so I'm also setting the password here. Sorry, custom password. Let me create some password here. Okay, so technically now this user will have two power. They can log in through web UI and then log in from CLI. Both the things there. For web UI, we know the password. Or for the program, we need access key and secret key that my AWS will generate for me. Okay, so these are things, other things. And finally, guys, if you think this, okay, what you're asking, that's what you want. Okay, so let me create the user. One more thing I just wanted to change this one. So this part you guys know, I don't want after first time login, they ask me to rechange the password. So I don't want this also. Okay. So, and create. So like when you create the user first time, okay, they will generate this access key and secret key for you. Access key is like a username, secret key is like a password. Okay, guys, again, I don't want anybody can see the secret key. By default, they disable here, so nobody can see it. But otherwise, anybody who get my secret key, they will have a complete control in my account. From the secret key, they can log into my account from a command line, and from a command line, they can do anything, whatever they feel like. So, guys, because right now this training or having is going online, so I don't want to show my secret key here. Okay, so when I want to use the secret key, I will stop my screen sharing, then I copy here and paste somewhere. Okay. But here, or you can send the mail also on some email ID, so they will get this secret key access key. Okay, but this is my secret key or my access key. So finally, guys, we are good to go. And now if you want to log in to the AWS cloud, okay, now we have two possibilities or two way. One way we can use web UI and one is CLI. And that's what we are going to use because we have this user or this secret key or password with us. And how can you log in? For this, I can use my laptop, CMD. First time we have to log in. The command is AWS configure. I'm logging here. And here they're asking you your access key. I'm copying my access key from here. Copy and paste. Enter. Here they're asking my secret key. So what I'm doing here, for 1 minute, I stop sharing this Zoom meeting. I just click on the show button there. They give me the access secret key. I copy from there and paste here. enter. Okay, and then I close my this screen, 1 minute please, and then again I'm going to share my Zoom meeting again. So what I did, guys, nothing. So I just click on the show. They show me the my password. I copy from here, and after copy, I paste here. So I'm not showing you guys my complete screen here. Okay, so this is my password or my secret key I paste here. Obviously, yours would be different. You can check from there. And finally, guys, the way you log in the GUI. So whenever, guys, if you want to do something from here, so any service if you want to use in AWS, you always give the name of your region. So here I selected Mumbai in my graphical console or management console. Same thing you have to do in the command line also. You have to tell your region. So I want to do everything in the Mumbai. I can type here. But we can change also in the future when you want to change the region name. But guys, here I told you my initial classes, the name that they given you here, Mumbai, California, is just a user-friendly name. Internet, they don't understand this name. Okay, they understand the name with the IDs, and every region, guys, they have the IDs. So if you talk about Mumbai, so AP, sorry, AP South 1 is the name or the ID of the Mumbai region. So either you can pick from here or you can pick from the upper top URL also. The region is called AP South 1. So technically, if you want to tell to the Amazon that my region name is not is a Mumbai, so you have to tell AP-South-1. Okay, that's what I'm typing here. I already have because I was already using AWS my command in my laptop, but you have to type here. That's all. And what is the output format? We will discuss in a minute after some time. What is the format here? But we don't have to type here. That's all, guys. It's been logged in. So from my command line, this is the way to log in. Everybody know how to log in the GUI, but this is the way we can log in from my command line. Okay. So now this part is done and we are good to go. We are good to go. Okay. So now from the command line, whatever I will do, right? My command will go to AWS. They will give this login name and password. They log in, and whatever we ask to do, for example, I've asked them, can you launch EC2 instance? So they will launch everything inside or by default in Mumbai region because I selected Mumbai, but we can change also in the future whenever we need this region name to change. Okay, let me clean my screen and come back. So let's guys go for this practical. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, what I'm going to do here, okay, my plan is to launch the EC2 instance, but not from the web UI. Okay, so how we want to do? We want to do from the command line. Okay, so now guys, till now what I explained you is a one-time process. You have to create account once, you have to create an access key security once, and you have to log in once. So this part is done. We don't have to worry about. But after you log in, then whatever you want to perform from the command line, that is everyday task. Every day, every hour, every minute, we have to keep on typing the commands here, and they will do something for me. So now, guys, what am I going to explain you from now onwards? It is very critical to know. This topic is very important, and here I am going to give you the approach. And if you really understand this approach, okay, whatever command you want to change or create or customize in the future of any of the service of AWS, you can do it. Okay, so just try to understand, guys, that particular approach. Okay, so this my laptop has two things now. One, they have the AWS command. I can see with the version also. This command I need. A second, my laptop is already logged in to the AWS. So two things we require before we go ahead, and we have it right now. Now, if you want to do anything in the AWS, okay, you have to start with the command called AWS. From here, you have to start. After we write AWS command, if you hit enter, they say, okay, I don't know what exactly you're talking about. Because if you talk about AWS, I am a big cloud, and under me, I'm just I'm just an umbrella of services. Under me, I have lots of services. Which services you want to interact? I don't know. You have to tell me. Like in the browser, we just click on the EC2 to tell that I would like to interact with this service. Same thing here in the command line. You have to tell, right, what is your sub command? Or I can say not sub command, what is your command? Means which service you want to access. Okay, so you have to tell here you want to access S3 services, you want to access EC2 services, you want to access IAM services, which services you would like to access. So normally in the in the graphical portal, we normally use a term called service, but in the command line, this is known as command. Okay, so which command you want to use, which service you want to use. Okay, but how we come to know the service name is EC2 or EC or compute? How you know the name of that command? Okay, so obviously you can go to AWS document in the Google, I can check. Okay, or they will give you one command called help here. Very helpful. This help command is very helpful. Okay, even though they give help also here. They say, I don't know what you're talking about. Just use this command. If I'm giving help, I will provide help to you. Okay, so what it will do for you, they say you are in the command line. Okay, and in this command line, right, of AWS, I will provide you the help, and this help will tell you, if I hit enter, this help will tell you that these are the commands we support, or these are the services we support. Okay, so if you see more here, it means there's more options. If you go down, and if you use up arrow, down arrow, it won't work. For this, you have to hit enter. If you keep on hitting enter, they're showing you the options they supported. Okay, or we can use back space bars also here. Space bar will show you the full page down. Okay, if you click on clicking space bar, and here they give the option called available services. Again space bar, and here they give you a name of the services. Okay, so these are the name of services. Maybe we don't know about this service or AWS. If you go down, some service you guys see it, you know, right? For example, if you go down and go down, go down, okay, and one service that is going to come in a minute, okay, is called EC2. That's what we know. So command line say we support EC2 service from the command line. So using the command line, you can go to AWS and connect to these services, EC2. Okay, or maybe in the future we will talk about EFS or EKS or ECS, the support, or maybe EBS, we know. So if you want to create any storage or block device or block storage, you can use this command. So likewise, there's lots of services. They have keep on typing here. They see all the lists. Or if you want to come out from this more option, this help, you can press Q to quit. Okay. So so in the help, if you press space bar, it will do page down. If you press enter per line, they go down. If you press Q, it will quit. Okay, so in this more option that come up in the help, these are shortcuts you can use. Okay. And get this more is exactly the same more command that if anybody know Linux, same concept we use in Linux also. Okay. So for finally, what we achieve, guys, what we achieve, okay, technically, because we know our requirement is to connect to the EC2, but not from the web UI, from the CLI. So at least we know the command name is or service name is EC2. But now what can we do next? Right, I don't know. If you hit enter, let's see what they say. They say again, what you are asking me is error. Okay, after this command, you write some more operations, arguments. Means you have to tell me what exactly you want. And if you don't know, again, just for the help, you go to Google search, or you can use help also. Per command help also available. So you can ask help issue to give me help, or EBS help, or EMR help, or whatever service we'll discuss in the future, VPC help, right? So here I give you the help. What can you do with EC2 from the command line? Okay. So let me see the help, what they show you. Okay. Enter. They say you at least the full form of EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud, and they give you instances to you. and some extra information they give you. And if you again press spacebar, they show you something here. Right now, maybe harder to read what they give you. Okay, so but we'll a guy explain you what exactly they're showing you here. But let me come out again one more time. Okay, let me again go back this one. Okay, so before guys, I will explain the help of this this particular command or EC2 services. Okay, let me first again go to your web UI. Okay, and now guys, actually I just given you some information here. Now here, from here, I'm going to give you the approach of creating your own commands. And if you, this approach, if you understood that I'm going to give you in a minute, you can do everything in the AWS cloud in the future by the command lines. Okay, so till here guys, what I told you, just give you some information, basic information, how to take the help. Okay, but let me go to this screen, right? So my approach is guys, that I'm going to give you, approach is something like this. So if you want to use want to do anything in the command line, especially in the AWS command line. Okay, so what you have to do? First, you have to think and understand what actually you want in AWS cloud. What do you want to do? So in the AWS cloud, if your intention is to use EC2 service, so I suggest initially for learning, just go to your web UI, click on the service, go to EC2 service. Start from here. Okay. Then in AWS, what you want to do? Okay. Let's say my requirement is to check how many instances is there we have. Maybe they're running, maybe they're stopped. But what you want to do, you want to see the information about the instances that you have. Right now, in my case, I have 2 instances by chance. Okay, both are stopped. Let me start one just for, I just want to start for checking. 1 minute. Let me go to instance setting, instance state. Let me start. Okay, so, so technically, right, why you want to go to this page? Because your requirement is, right, you're here. Why you want to go to this page? Because your requirement is you want to check the total number of instances you have and who is running, who is stop or something like this. This is my requirement. So now we got our requirement. My requirement is just go to this services and go inside the service page and check the details, or I can say description of my all the instances. So guys, this is my requirement, right? After you get your requirement that you would like to describe or see or view all the details of your instances in the EC2. And this is my use case. And because to solving my use case, I am using my web UI. But can we do the same thing from a CLI? Answer yes. But now my requirement is very clear, very clear. Same thing I can do in my CLI. And how I can do in the CLI? So for this, I will first go to my CLI black screen. And because I say AWS, because I would like to connect to my AWS, or you want to connect to Google Cloud, I can use G Cloud. So every cloud gives their own commands, but approach is same, whatever cloud you want to use. But here I would like to use AWS. I say AWS command. As AWS, I am going to use one of your service or one of command called EC2. And EC2, my requirement is only one thing. My requirement is to see the details of all the instances we have. That's my requirement. But the thing is, I don't know what to write here. See all instances. I don't know what to write here. I don't know what you support. I can write here, maybe they will fail and this gives some kind of warning here, error here, because I don't know, because this command is not created by me, right? It's created by somebody else. So developer of this command, they know what we can write here. So for this, I can go and check the help, or maybe I can write also enter here. So they say EC2 is just a command, but what you want to do here, right? That's called parameters, or maybe arguments. Tell me your requirement, tell your argument, what you want to do. And because I know by chance my requirement describe, so I can say here describe. But again, I can write anything here, but it should be supported by this command, right? So for this, you have to go to help always. Go to help, issue to help. So AWS, AWS command and help. So AWS command and help. I go to help. And from the help, if you enter, here they support all the available commands. By chance, the name is command, but technically they're talking about all the available parameters and the arguments. So if I go space bar, they said these are the parameters and the argument they support. If you go down, if you go down, maybe by looking at this argument, we come to know what exactly we need. So we go down, let me go down. They're talking something about key pair. We know, guys, what is key pair. It means they're talking about if you use this argument, I will create one key pair for you for login and password, for instance. But let's go down. Okay, let me go down. Something by chance I know, but it will come by practice or by concept or by learning some more new things in the AWS. But at least if I go down, you will see one option will come up. Let me describe, because finally we are looking for describing the thing, right, or seeing the thing. So here, guys, they give the option called describe, and if you again go down, you can see what you want to describe, and we know we will have to describe something about the instances. So maybe the option will be very clear, but let me check. They're talking about describe instance, and if you go down, yeah, it look like good, right? Describe instances. Okay, that's what, guys, we have written here. Okay, what we written here, because we know our requirement or use cases that in EC2 service only, we have to see and describe our instances. But only thing that we don't know, okay, is which options to use or which sub command to use or argument to use, right? So this is given by the document of the EC2, because the guy who developed this command, they know which option they have given. How I know, right? So we find from here. So this will look very clear. This option will help us to tell the total instance running. let me copy this. Let me copy this. Come out, and what can we do? We can write after this. After this. Okay. So, or maybe I can take further help if they support it. Not every option they support, but let's check are they give the help of this option or not. Yes, they give. And if you guys see the description of this option, they are very clear. They say, okay, all the instances that you have, all, they will provide the details. That's what, guys, this option say. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for, guys, here. So let's quit. Okay. And now try to run this command. And I understand one thing. I'm in my black screen, CLI. I'm not here. Without coming to this page from my CLI, if I run this command, what we can see? Guys, they show you lots of information here. Can you hold for a second, please? Okay. So they show you, there's lots of things they show you. Now they show you output in some kind of format. What format they show you is not important right now, but we will see in the future. They show you the output in some kind of way or some kind of format. By chance, this format is known as JSON. But don't worry, guys, in the future we will talk about this concept. But what they show you the list of all the instances you have. Okay, and if you little bit go down, you will see something that look very familiar to us, right? And the something is, they say one of the instance you have is running. Okay, and if you go down, right? If you go down, they will also show you the name of the instance. Okay, so they show you this instance is running. True, right? Okay, plus if you go down, they show you one more instance that you have. Okay, and if you talk about this instance, it's stopped. Most probably this one they're talking about. Okay, and if you go down, they still tell you the name of the instances. somewhere right here. See here, Hadoop client. It stopped. And if you go down, nothing there. Come out. Technically, they say when I run this command, I only found two instances. Two instances. Okay, one is stopped and one is running. And they show you lots of information here. Maybe one of the information they show you about AP South A1. I mean, they're trying to tell you the first instance they're running has this AG. Let me check. So I can enable from here to present my AG name. So AP South A, right? Absolutely right. They're saying the first instance you're running is having the public IP, this one. So here, exactly same. This one. Okay, or guys, when you click on the instance, there lots of information come up, right? All the information, whatever you can see from the web UI, your key name, right? They show you here. Your key name is key Hadoop. Okay, instance IP T2 micro. Instance ID 09 something, 09 something. Your instance ID. Okay. So normally, guys, from the web UI, for any instance, whatever information you can see, okay, there might be something that you can't see also, right? But everything, guys, in the CLI they present you. There will be some example come in the future, right? Some of the information in the graphical they never show, maybe due to any of the reason, right? But if you want to see that information also, if they want to provide you, but if you don't see that information also, right, you have to go to CLI. From the CLI, almost everything that is provided to us as a final user or the tenant, they will provide everything in the CLI. Or because they provide everything in CLI, right now this is just a command, but when I convert this command to a script, or maybe use some kind of future JSON parsers, what is JSON we will discuss in the future classes in detail, right? Then you can create some rule. We can say all the instances are running, just go and shut down. Or all the instances that are running in AP South A1, shut down. Or all the instances running in AP South A1 with Windows instance that's running, only shut down. So that kind of concept, if you want, you can't achieve from the GUI. You can't say here, right? All the instance running in 1A and there is Windows that are running, only stop these guys or terminate these guys. So if you have this kind of requirement, customized requirement, okay, your web UI as such won't help you. Then for this, you have to go to command line. And command line, when you run this command, they give the information, and this information you can think, guys, this is information, right? Information or data. And normally, if anybody know programming language, in the programming language, you can store this data in variables. And if any data is stored in the variables, then we can write some for loop or something like the conditions and other things to get this data and do something. But don't worry, guys, I'm not doing right now. Okay, this is an initial class, but as we go forward, I will show you how to store the data in variables, and then how to add a loops, or how to read this data in the programming language. It's called parser, just JSON parsers. We'll see everything in my future classes. Okay, but at least without coming to the GUI from the command line, we are able to connect and see the things. And guys, one more thing, why I am able to connect? The only reason is because in initial, I have a login, right? If you don't log in from the command line, the way we log in here in the command line, if you don't log in, it will fail. They will say some error to you and say you're not authenticated, or you don't have a credentials. So they will fail for something. Because I already log in from this command. Okay, that is the reason they doesn't show me any error. And one more thing, guys, if you notice here, okay, it's called format. So when you run any command, any command, okay, by default, the output they show you is called format. Format. And the format is none. None means by default format. So by default format, guys, of the AWS is JSON. But multiple other formats also they support, YAML or text. So we'll guys see again in the future, guys. Okay, hold for a second, please. Okay. So as and when we require, we change the format. So I don't want to invest the time right now because a lot of guys doesn't know the format of YAML or JSON, but I will take both all the classes for you. So when you become comfortable on those formats, we will come back to this page and explain you what is this. But right now, again, it's not important for us. So finally, what we have done, guys, we have successfully solved one requirement and one use case. Without going to web UI, I can see details of all of my instance. There's one requirement. Let's pick one more use case or one more requirement. Let's say one requirement we have is, right, my OS is running right now. This also, no, this is stopped. So I want to run this OS. Okay, and now there's two ways to run. Either click on the actions or just click here and start it. But I don't want to do from here. Even though what I want to do here, without coming here, okay, from my CLI, I would have to start my OS. So my requirement is in EC2 services, I would like to start my instance. Okay, that is my requirement. Again, let's guys go to the same approach. Approach is AWS in EC2, we want to do something. So can you tell me help? Which sub command you support? So say these are the command available in EC2, only in EC2. For EBS, we have different commands. Or IAM, we have different command. Let me go start and look like guys logically because we want to start. So maybe the option maybe start with start. So let's keep on go down. Let's go to S. Okay, let's go to S. Okay, and now by chance in one single go is option come. Start the OS, stop the OS, or terminate the OS. What do you want? So my plan is to start the instance. Click. Okay. So this is the option we have. Oh, by chance I forgot to save, but it's start instances. Okay, that's all. So I will have to start the instances. I don't know instances or instances. Yeah. Start instances. Now challenge we have is because whenever you start the instances in the graphical, what you do normally. So in the graphical first you select, then start, right? So selection from the graphical is so simple, no big deal. But how we can select from CLI? CLI we can't select. So what we do here? I don't know. let me try to check the help. What we do here? So I'll just go to help of this guy and see here. Okay, they say this is the help of start instance. And if you want to start, right, with the previously stop instance that I want actually, the stop, this is the option we use. That's what we want, right? So if I go down, they say, if you have to start the instances, we can do, but for this, you have to provide me instance ID. So they give me help and I can say they give me syntax. By chance syntax name here known as synopsis. So they say we can start the instance for you, but for this, you have to give my instance ID with the value. So this is the, you can say variable, or this is the value, or this is technically in the command line called options. Okay. So let me go out and you have to give your instance IDs that you want to start. And how you get the instance ID? Right now I'm picking from the GUI, but from command line also can check how from last command, you know, when I run the describe command, they give me all the instances stop with the instance ID. From there also I can copy, but right now to make it very faster, I just copy from here. Here. Now guys, without coming, let me refresh this. It's still stop. Without coming to this page, graphical, I click here. I click here, and they say, they say, previously your instance was stopped. See here, let me refresh again. Now they're running. See here, pending. So previously your instance, this one was stopped. Okay, what I did, I changed something. I make it in pending, and after pending is we start. So yeah, now start right. So without coming to this page, I can, sorry, I have started my system. Right, that's nice, right? Same way I can stop, I can terminate, what you feel like, you can do it. Now the interesting thing is, now this is the what is this? A command, right? So just one small question to you guys. Those guys who know scripting by chance, Again, not compulsory for this, but today's topic, but those who know Python scripting, let's say Python scripting. So in the Python, guys, do you know how to run the command from Python? I think yes. Like those guys who was there in my Python training in Earth, or maybe in IIC, RIs, so they know how to run the command. So can you run this command from the Python? Yes, I can run it, right? It means if you can run this command in the Python, so what can you do? You can do lots of extra stuff there also in the future. After running the Python, right now you can directly run the Python, this command in the Python or through the Python. So in the future, I can attach with the voice command. Okay, and that actually I already given guys to you in the IC, right? Especially, so I can say, uh, I can say my Python, hey, can you please go to this instance and start the instance? So you don't have to type now. My Python will automatically run this command behind the scene when I speak. Okay, and giving the instance ID is also not important. We have some way we can pass the tag also. We can say, can you please go and stop the Hadoop client instance for me, or start the Hadoop client instance for me? Okay, Python say I can do for you. Only thing I need a command, and you already given this command to my Python code, so I will do for you. So this is one example I just wanted to give you. Those who know Python, just try it, and those who know Python with the voice control, try this option. And those who don't know Python, if they want to try, there's option for you. I will share my videos to you. Just go through the videos and then you try. But in any of the cases, without knowing this command, thing won't work. This is the minimum requirement. This is the must have requirement. Okay, this thing you should have or must have. Otherwise, none of the scripting language will help you. So what are a scripting language you guys are comfortable on? Maybe Power or Shell or other things. This is the minimum requirement you should have, right? So this is one thing we have done, right? Let me show you one more last demo. Okay, the demo is right now. My requirement is something else. Okay, what I want, I would like to tell my AWS to each instances that I would like to launch a new instance. Launch new instance. How? Now your choice. You want to launch from here as a graphical or CLI. So obviously here we would like to go for CLI. Why CLI? Because using CLI, we can automate the things. So right now I'm typing manually. It look like very big things, black screen. But after time 2 or 3 times these things, you become comfortable on it. And then we put this command inside the Python code or the other scripting, this will automate. So one click, all the command will run for us. And one click, every complete setup will be automated for us. Okay, so that is one of the reasons why we are learning these commands. Actually, we are not learning, we are getting the approach. For writing this command, we are taking the help, and by the approach that I'm giving to you, okay, to write this command for us. Okay, so this is the last demo for today. Very important demo, this one, because by this demo you will get some more approach that will help us to do lots of things. Okay, so what our requirement is from the CLI, we would like to launch the OS. Okay, so you know what I suggest, guys? I suggest sometime do one thing, open some text editor, and in this text editor, what you do, just write what you know, what you need. So I want from AWS in issued instance, I would like to start, or I can say launch a new instance. That's what my requirement is. LAUNCH. But understand one thing, guys, when you launch the instance, even though from the GUI, there's not one click button. Okay, when you click on the launch, they ask you multiple things. First, they ask you, can you tell me your AMI name? And here you have to select, my AMI name is Amazon Linux 2. Right? Obviously, how they know what you want, right? You have to select this. Okay, so in the graphical, normally you select. But technically in the graphical, whatever the names show you, they make the name very much user friendly. This name or region name, they make it very user friendly. But internally, everything they understand with the unique IDs. Like here they use AP Southwark. Similarly, with the image name also, they use some kind of IDs. So every image in the AWS has a unique ID. For example, for this image, the ID is this one. This one. Let me copy here. So when you say Amazon, I would like to use this image, internally, they understood you're talking about this same ID. So what I did, I just copy this ID here in my text bar. Why I copy? Because in the command line, in the command line, normally they don't support names or user-friendly name. This name is only for these guys who work in the web UIs. Or but technical guys or techie guys, 99% they never like web UI. There will be lots of reasons, guys. We keep on discussing in the future. Okay, the technical guys always like black scripts or command lines or the scripts or the programs. And for the program or for the commands, they don't understand these names. They understand normally the IDs. So that's what, guys, I'm collecting here. So technically, if you want to launch the instance, you have to select AMI. And which AMI you want to select? I collected the name here. Then you have to select your instance type. Instance type. Let's say my instance type is what? Is T2 micro. So T2 micro is again Bison, actually Bison ID. So that is actually ID you can use. T2 micro. Okay. Then what is like number of instances you want? So my total count is, let's say 1. Or maybe you select your availability zone. Let's say 1A. And guys, by chance the availability zone here is called subnet. So the subnet that I have to select here is is what? Is 1A. Now guys, what exact meaning of subnet I will explain you when I go for VPC because this topic is more related to networking. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do, okay, again in Amazon, behind the scene, they don't use this name. This is a 1A, 1B is a user-friendly name. Internally they use this ID. So I'm copying this ID from here. By chance, they're not giving you option to copy, but let me type here. So my ID is different from your account. So right now the ID of my subnet, or I can say availability zone here, but there's 2 different things. I have explained this part in very detail when I go for VPC topic. This one. So what I wanted, this OS will launch in this subnet, or I can say in this data center that I selected here. Okay. That's what I did. But guys, again, this is just a name or ID. In your case, in your account ID may be different, but whatever ID you have, you have to type exactly the same. Otherwise it won't work. Then what you do normally, well, you select the storage. So I say my storage is, and you guys are, you buy some, you know, this storage called root storage is 8 GB. You select this. I want 8 GB or 100 GB. Then you give some name here. Let me skip this name part for some time. And then you give your security groups, right? You guys know security groups or firewall, right? Security group name. Okay, and for security group, either you create a new, or you also can use the previously created security groups here. So you can use any of the name. So in my case, I have multiples. And how to create? So guys, when you create this and go ahead, automatically they create this name. So that's your choice, guys. So my security group name, I don't want to create new. Let's say I already have. So I'm going to use the thing that I already have. So let's say I will use this security group that I already have. Again, this also have a name or ID. Let me copy here. So if you notice here, I'm not doing anything new here. What normally we do always, that's all I'm doing here. But only thing I'm doing here is collecting the information. Which information? What Amazon understand behind the scene. Amazon understand not the name of the AMI, they understand the AMI ID. So I don't know, so I just use this this graph figure, or I can just search Google search and say, Google, can you please tell me the AMI ID for Amazon Linux 2? They will tell me. Or I come to my portal and I collect my data center name or security group name that I have. But can you create your firewall from the command line? Yes. Can you see this information for command line? Yes. Everything you can do from the command line. I'm not doing right now because it become a long process that you can do very easily now. Just go and search Amazon EC2 instance help. Can you tell me how we can check the firewall ID from the command line? Do you have any describe command? They say yes. How can I check the AMI ID? Do you have any describe command AMI ID? Yes. I can pick from my command line. Okay, but my plan is to launch the instance to make it faster. I'm collecting this information from my graphical. Okay, then I click review. And finally, what you do, you always attach your key. So let's say I already have the key, but can you see the key name from the command line? Yes. But I had no, but I can use the command line. Or can you create a key from command line? Yes. So everything we can do, right? But right now, because my intention is to launch the instance, so what a thing I already have, I just collect it. Okay. So right now, guys, if you notice here, you will notice here, I am canceling this. I'm not going to launch this instance because my plan is to not launch the instance from, from this graphical. My plan is to launch this instance. I don't know why the option goes. So my plan is to launch the instance from command line. But approach, guys, if you try to understand, guys, whatever you want to do from the command line, okay, you should know, you should have clear understanding what you want to do, because your plan is to launch the EC2 instance. And for launching the EC2 instance, whatever you normally you do, because you know EC2 instance logically, so you know all the steps logically, you know the use of instance types logically. Okay, you know, and what types of RAM and CPU you want, you know. Your Amazon graphical doesn't know, or Amazon command line doesn't know. So you have collected this information. Now, only thing that you have to do, this information, what I want, that I know already, obviously nobody know in the world what I want, how much hard disk I want, how much count we want, nobody know. Now what we have to do, you have to convert this information into CLI. How we can do? Now it will be very simple. After you collect your requirement or your use cases, your information, the way you use it will be your choice. I use graphical way right now. Okay, but I collected this information, right? Now what I do, I go to my command line. And here what I'm going to do, I'll tell my EC2 instance, first, can you help me? Okay, I would like to launch my EC2 instance. Do you have any subcommand for this? Let me search. Subcommand maybe launch, or maybe start, maybe run. Let me check. Let me see. Do you have any option for run or to launch? So if you keep on searching, and go for ML, ML, there's no option for launch. Okay, we're not lucky. Maybe let's just search for run. Yeah, it look like these are the options. Look like maybe. So let me check the help of this guy. Or maybe you can search Google. Google, I just want to launch the instance. Can you tell me subcommand? So you can also get the help from there also. But not everything you can get in the future, because these are very basic things. But sometime something you want that is very much unique on some of the guys, because Google doesn't has any information with them. They will show you only those things that has been posted by somebody in the Wikipedia or articles or blogs. So not everything in the future will get in the Google, right? But if you know this approach, what I'm talking about right now, okay, you don't require any help in the search in the Google. You can create it yourself by your own. Now again, as we ask the help. So finally, what have we got? We got this option. So I can replace the option here. So I know the options here. This is the option. So till here, my command completed. Now in the run help, I don't know which options or arguments they support. I can go for further help. And they say you can use this command to launch the instance. That's what we want. But for this, we have to put AMI name or instance name. But we don't know which options they support for AMI instances. Just go for help, right? So here they support. Here they say, if you want to run the instance, you have to give an AMI name or image name. And for the image name, this is the keyword I support or option I support. a value you should know. Obviously, how I know you want to launch Windows or Red Hat. So what I know, I just give this option to you. So by chance I know the email name, but which option they support, I don't know. So now we got it. The option they support is this one. So now this part we don't require. Okay, this part we don't require. Even though, let me share this part. Maybe you can use this part for the reference. Okay, but at least this option we have converted. So technically what I'm trying to do here, guys, all the information we have collected that we know, but what options Amazon support or my command support, we don't know. So I keep on converting all the string that I write here into the options. What options these guys support. Okay, for example, here I write type instance type. I know T2 macro instant type is available. This is the ID Amazon support, but I don't know this command, which option this command support for this. They support instance type, they support instances, they support hardware name. I don't know. So for this, I go to help. And from here, I come to know this is the option they support. So I can replace this option with this one. Yeah. So technically, the guy who write this command, they created one document help for you. And they say, whenever you want to tell the instance type that you know, T2 macro is small, okay, to how to tell me, you can use this options or you can use this function name, technical option name. By this, I come to know, which instance time you're looking for. Similarly, if you just go and try and check, here they talk about key name. It's very user-friendly names. By looking at the name, we come to know what they are talking about. So here, they don't support this name. They support this one, key name. Then if you go down and security groups, IDs, I mean, they talk about firewalls, right? So here they support this name. Because I use ID here, right? So IDs. Then you go down this, then see, right? There's a count. Count. So they say this count. And say says for subnet. And if you go think maybe I missed somewhere the subnet. Where it is, subnet. Yeah, here it is, subnet ID. What is subnet? We will discuss in the upcoming class in very detail. Subnet. And similarly, you can go for EBS volume. But right now, guys, by some time, if you notice in the graphical, when you select this OS, automatically they create a hard disk or DGP. So something that is by default created, you don't have to use. Maybe you can change. There's option available. We will discuss in the future classes, but right now we don't need. So what I did, guys, because we know the concept first of all, and we know what we need into launching the OS. Only two things we don't know. First, the IDs of the AMIs or subnets. So I just take the help of this graphical portal, or maybe you can use the describe command or command line, or just search in the Google, from where you can collect this information. And last thing that we don't know, how we can tell to this command that this name is not a name, this name is the AMI name. This name is not the name, this name is instant type. So this guys who write this command, he give me options to us. And I go to this help and collect the option. And by chance, if you don't know the meaning of key name, maybe you can go down, they give you detail about this. They give details. Lots of details they show you. Even though they show you all the options, kernel IDs, key name. So if you use this key name, you have to give your key name for login. Okay. So by chance, if you don't know what is the meaning of this, just go to help here and they tell you what is this meaning of what is the meaning of this one. They say it is a security group, so you can write here. Okay. So what finally we achieve, guys, can you hold for one more second, please? So what we finally achieve, we have created our own customized CLI. Or because one single command, you have to write in this way, one single line. Obviously, you have to give some space after every options. So I just giving backspace here. It become one single line. That's all. Great. And let me copy this command. Copy this command from here till here. I copy and I go to my command line. And let me paste this command. So as this command look like very much, if you show this command to anybody, it look like very much complex or very much Greek, very harder to understand. But technically, if you remember or you see, this command we have created. And this is our customized command, because my requirement very customized. My requirement is to launch the OS only from this AMI, only this macro type or instance type, only this firewall I'm to use, or this data center or subnet I'm to use. Okay. So this, can you do this thing from the web UI? Answer by chance, yes, right now, because it's very simple thing actually. Okay. But maybe in the future, maybe in the future, you have a requirement to launch 10 counts, for example, here. And every count, right, you want to use different subnet, you want to use different firewall, you want to use different private key to log in, and different AMI, then graphical option doesn't help you guys. Here you have to take the help of this command. And only command also won't help. You have to use some kind of scripting to check if first instance launch, second instance write loop, use different subnet, third instance you'll use different key. But for writing those script or those program, okay, that anybody can write the script like if or else or conditions or loop is not big deal. If you don't know the language, very easily you can learn also, right? But but without running this command, none of the loop or condition will help you. That's my point, guys. So final core is, if you want have some customer requirement, first of web UI doesn't work, you should know the command line. And after command line, just having basic knowledge of any programming language like Python, you can do lots of automation or lots of customization you can achieve. I'll show you a lot of practical or examples in my future classes. So what I'm going to do, guys, to check this command working or not, right now you see only two options we have, or two instances we have. So what I'm going to do, just by hitting enter, if my command is right, there's no error. If my command is right and there's no error, where this command goes, oh, it goes. Okay. So you can see this command will run. Let's see. Or maybe some error might come up. Maybe we'll rectify this command. Let's see. Yeah, so you guys look like straight pending. That's a good thing. No error come up. And if I refresh this page, you see, guys, one more instance come up here. I want to see pending. And from the command line, we come to know we have launched one instance with ID last 3 to 4. See here. We launched one instance with ID somewhere. They show you somewhere. Here it is. So they say, because you asked me to use this key, you asked me to use this instance, you asked me to use this AMI, and you asked me to use this AZ, right? I had done for you. So and you asked me to install the OS, so I started launching the OS for you. And you see, after surveying the launch for you, right? By chance, you doesn't give me the name, but I show you the way we can give the name also. I will show in my next classes how to give the name. But we have done this for you. Okay, and finally, yours launch. So without guys coming to, I'm sharing this command to you this way also, and plus this way also. So you can try. But if you run this command in your system, it won't work, because in your account, your key name might be different, your firewall name might be different, or your data center subnet might be different. So if you run this command as it is in your system, syntax wise, this command is good, but in your account of AWS, your name would be different. So you just go your account and just pick your respective name, update this, then it will work for you. So without guys coming to this page, if you run, and because this is the Amazon Linux, I can connect from here to test it is working or not. So I can connect from here. It's connected. Okay. It means, guys, this OS I launch from my command line. That's what, guys, I just wanted to show you. So without using the web UI, we have successfully created this launch this instance. So, guys, if you understand this approach, that's nice. Maybe in one single go, might not be we understood this approach, right? But but just high level, you guys might get some high level idea about the CLI. But if you practice these things multiple time and lots of multiple example, I keep on explaining you in the future in upcoming classes, guys, you would be comfortable. Okay, but I just want to give you one homework to you, and that homework would be, I feel more than enough to become comfortable with the commands. Okay. So the homework would be something like this. Okay, what you have to do, guys, in your account, you have to use a command line. For what? You have to use a command line to create your own key, private key. You have to use a command line to create your own firewall from the command line. And you have to create your command line to do, that's all. Two things. And then you can use the command line to launch the instance. This command I already created for you. But in this guy's command, I use firewall that I in my account I already had. But in your case, you have to first create a firewall. And because you create your firewall, so you know your firewall name. That name you can use here. And for logging to this OS, we need a private key. In my case, my private key already there, I had in my account. But in your case, you have to first create this private key. And whatever key name you create, you can use here. You can use here. Otherwise, your AMI name is already fixed. We can also create an AMI also in the future. I'll show you. Again, you go for T2 micro, that's okay. Otherwise, what subnet name you have in your account, you can use. I also show you how to fetch also in the future. Then you can launch the instance. And then I want two more steps to do, guys. After you launch the instance, then you contact to EBS service and to create hard disk of 1 GB. Okay. I want you guys connect to this service. This one. Connect to this service. EBS. This EBS. And you guys know how to create the hard disk from the graphical. But now this time you have to create a hard disk from command line. And again, for this, because EBS is a different service. So if you ask EC2, do you have any server EBS? I show you we have. So EBS. EBS, can you help me? What option you support? What option you support? Can you help me? They say, oh, sorry, EC2, right? What option you support? Can you tell me? They say, yes, I can tell you. These are the options we have. And now what do you want to do? You can do it. Okay, maybe this command, one minute. These options they have. Very limited option look like. Maybe you might find some other commands maybe. Most probably there might be possibility because EBS command belong to EC2. So maybe EC2 has some option for EC2 for EBS. Let's very quickly check. If I go to AWS EC2 help and ask, I would like to create EBS volume. Do you have any option for EBS? So you might find some options to create image or to create storage. Just go and check. You find, yes, create volume. That's what I'm looking for. So because EBS is a service, but it's belong to EC2. So in the EC2 help, they have option. From this option, we can create a storage. Also, we can create a volume. And now finally, I want, guys, after you create the volume, what you have to do, this volume, you have to attach this instance. So, guys, from graphic, how we do, we create the storage, then we attach. I don't want you attach from this way. I want you attach this volume after you create, whatever volume you create, they give one unique ID of the volume. And this ID you connect with the AWS. So 3 steps, so 5 steps you have to do. First, create a private key. so that you can log into the instance with the SSH or PuTTY. Then firewalls. Okay. Third, third, this one, for this one, and fifth, attach. So this is the exact same practical we already did in my last classes, but everything I did from the graphical. But you have to do same practical from command line. You know what happened, right? You concept you after, you know, when you do from the command line, you become so much conceptually strong with the concepts, because every bit because if you want to do something on the command line, you should know every bit of it. Otherwise, you won't able to create this command what the way we have created. So conceptually, you become very strong. Plus, if you do this practice in this way, so when you start moving your future for DevOps and automation, you can do everything over there, because in the DevOps, especially in the automation world, the actual core is about knowing the commands, right? Or knowing the API also. What is API we'll discuss in the future, right? So guys, that's what we are going to do in the future. So almost all the services I am going to explain you in my future classes, almost every, I will again come back to command line again and again to show you the same demo again from the command line. So every service will see 2 times with different angles. So conceptually you become strong in all the commands or all the concepts and plus command also. And somehow it will help you in your future automation world of your job and career and for other things also. So that's all for today, guys. So this is one homework for you. For my side, guys, it is a kind of some kind of homework or task, or I can say compulsory task. Every AWS guys over here has to perform it. And after performing, you have to submit with us. How to submit? Guys will post in your respective group how and where you can submit this task. But it's good for you to practice, right? But guys, it is not important. It is not important. Maybe you might not able to do everything here, but whatever you would have done, maybe it's full or wrong or half, you have to try it and submit with us. So that's all, guys, for today. Any Q&A, if you have any query, if you have, you can ask me. Thank you, Manu. Yes, Vikrant, we have a plan. Maybe we are going to launch DevOps for AWS. So AWS has some specialized program in DevOps. So after this AWS training, we will launch one DevOps course. That's will open for all. So professionals also can join. Guys, if you delete any instances, right, and after delete the instances, most probably sometime your EBS volume won't delete. So you can go and delete from here. Why they don't delete? There's one option there. I will show you my next classes. But if you delete the instances and still your volume still exists, just manually come to EBS and you can manually delete your root volumes. Okay. Otherwise, they keep on charging you after the free tier removed. Devanil, you don't have to remember, right? Why you have to remember? If you guys see here, I write this bigger command. I don't remember, even though I run this command hundreds of times. I don't have to remember this command, guys. Just this approach you have to use. Yeah, approach. Again, approach. Don't remember. This approach you will see multiple time in my next classes. So you become very much comfortable in my next classes. So don't worry about the approach. But if you talk about remembering the command and remembering the operation is the one of the worst thing you normally and we normally do in the technology world. Don't remember anything, right? Things keep on changing. A lot of new things keep on coming in the market. Why we have to remember? No, Aditya, if you guys issue the instances, you use 85%. Technically, GUI or WebUI or CLI is a different way to connect to the AWS. But it doesn't mean if you access CLI, it will increase your users or it will give you less bill. Okay, these are the different interfaces. Means either you connect CLI or WebUI, the amount, the charge, free tier, percentage use is same, right? Or the power per profile, everything same. It won't change anything, right? So with I told you what is JSON, I will discuss in my upcoming class. Don't worry about my JSON. Yeah, about the JSON we'll discuss. I use by chance tab work, but not in the CLI of Windows CMD. But if you go for Linux command line AWS, they support tab. Or maybe if you use PowerShell here in the Windows, they might support tab auto completion. I think they're talking about auto completion. So Windows CMD doesn't support here, I believe. No, it's not Vinayak. It's not fixed. Guys, you can use any of the order. When you run the command, technically this is normal syntax for almost any of the commands. So when you run this command, sorry, I launched one more time actually. When you run this command, okay, so this is the field name. Sorry, this is the option name, this is the value. So this complete block you can write anywhere, maybe in the last, maybe between. So sequence doesn't matter. You can put in any of the sequences. Okay. It is any way to find the mandatory argument. Technically, technically it's all depend upon the documents. So if you see the document, maybe in the document of the help, they might write star there somewhere. And star means it is mandatory. But not everyone of who write the document, they write whichever options is mandatory. Okay. But if you run the command, let's say I forgot to write security group. And by chance security group is mandatory. So when I run this command, they might fail and they might tell you why they fail. Oh, it's not failed. That's nice. Let me check other things. I thought security is mandatory by some of the type I see. Let's just, this is 100% mandatory subnet ID. Okay. So if I don't type the subnet ID, oh, come on, it's again started. It's, oh, because they use by default, you know, there are a lot of things they keep on changing, guys. If I don't type, they by default auto pick one. But let me pick, obviously AMI ID should be compulsory. So if I don't type, they fail. Or they say, because there's one mandatory option you have, without this option, I won't work. So it's failed. And normally they give you the error and say, you have to write your image ID. So normally in the document, you can see the mandatory options, but not the document is not always up to date. So what can you do? You type it with one option and they fail. From there, you can come to know, hey, it means this is compulsory. And then you just find this option in the help. And then they might say you this part also compulsory, this part also compulsory. So keep on doing in this way, right? So this is also one of the approach you can use. Okay, or other approach obviously would be you should know the concept, and you know the concept. So we know we have to give image ID, we have to give a key name, something like this. So don't remember, Sevendra, I'm just addressing your questions, right? Don't remember which is a mandatory. Just start typing one by one, and they keep on giving the error, and accordingly keep on typing. I use Monday would be off. Monday will be off for Earthland always. How to get MI ID or some ID from web? I show you guys Priyadarsan. I already show you Manish how you get from the web UI. Okay. So plus I think you might be talking about CLI. So CLI you just go and find the option, right? Most probably the option would be describe commands. How to get the access key of root region? Satabrata. So I'm sorry, you're maybe Paul. We can get it from the top setting. But it's good practice. Don't use root account. When I go for security practice in the future, I will show you from here you can get right here. But don't use root access key secret key. Normally it's good practice to disable it, right? And Byte, I think they are disabled, or if not disabled, we have to disable it. Why, we will discuss, guys, in the future classes. But from here, if you want to get the access key secret key of root account, from here you can get it. No, Pratyush, some of the thing is by default, by default. If you don't provide any storage, so it is by default, they give you 8 GB storage. Why is by default? When I go for more discount AMI, so it is written somewhere in the AMI that something is by default. Okay, but if you want to change, then you have to pass some option in the CLI. Something is by default means you don't type, they will automatically pick some by default things. So they show everything. Hers, I think what you're talking about. I think you're talking about. Yes, initially you have to go to help multiple times, and this is the way actually we work in the industry, right? Tons of things there, lots of technology is there, right? We don't remember anything. We know the logics, we know the concepts. That is the only thing we should know. Okay, but what's the syntax they support? What options they support? Right? They write a document. The guy who created this commands for us. We go to the document and get the help from there. But sometimes you keep on practice same thing again and again. Your command will be you memorize automatically, but don't try to memorize. But maybe Poojan will see some kind of tools. Even though what you're talking about, Nuke and Cloud Nuke tools, like hundreds of tools we have in the market for this. But our intention is we gonna create our own tools, right? So you would be so much trained in this training that you can create your own tool like this. So one click, all the instance start, and lots of things you can do, right? So we are just into the 6th or 7th day of class, right? But you see in the future how much thing we can cover. Pani Harsha, in this training we are not going to cover Terraform. I recently covered Terraform in my hybrid multi-cloud training. But yeah, soon in the future, I am going to launch one global program of Terraform from Terraform guys, from HashiCorp. So there you can learn Terraform, but not right now. So I'm just trying to pick some questions over here. Yes, Karthik, you can use grep command. By chance, grep command doesn't support in Linux, but if you run the AWS command in Linux command line, you can use pipe and grep to search something, right? But better would be if you know how to do the JSON parser. So JSON parser support in all the ways, right? So in upcoming class, I will explain you what is JSON parser. So guys, that's all guys. There might be a lot of queries here, but actually I feel when you practice this, most of query been solved. And other things you are asking a CI/CD pipeline and other things JSON. So I told you already, these things will come in the future. Okay, don't worry. So that's all guys. I just want to EBS Shivans is free service, but for I think for 30 GB somewhere around they are free. Okay, so it's free. Best ever lecture ever. Thank you, Ayush. So that's all guys for today. One task I had given to about pen drive, if you remember in my last class, right? How you can connect your local pen drive to the cloud or cloud storage to local laptops. So I have the answer with me, but I want you to try more. But in my upcoming class, I will explain you guys. Don't worry. Okay, how we can do it. But I want you to try by yourself. I'm not giving any hint also. Okay, because somebody asking me, but we'll discuss in the future. So that's all guys for today. Very important lecture. Okay, guys, again, frankly saying, the content is not actually part of a AWS CSA training. None of the AWS CSA training we cover this topic. But my plan is not to only touch AWS CSA official global training, also to train you in other skills also. So this is you can think as a bonus lecture from my side, but I think everybody should know this concept, right? If they really want to work in AWS cloud. Okay. So that's all guys from my side today, and see you guys in the next class. Obviously next Sunday, also next Saturday. All right. We will see you guys on next Saturday. Bye. Take care. See you.